Good morning, my dear students. My name is Dr. KCH Apparao, working as an associate professor in mechanical department. So, in previous class also we discussed some layouts of thermal power plants. So, in this class, I would like to explain about the layouts of hydroelectric and diesel power plants, especially. So, I want to cover two power plant power plant plant layouts. Sorry, power plant layouts. So one is the hydroelectric, second one is the diesel power plant. So first of all, you will see layout of hydroelectric power plant. So we know that hydroelectric power plant, the conversion of energy, hydro energy into electrical energy. So you know this one. So in which water power is used for generating the electricity or water power. So especially it is the potential energy of the water is converted into electrical energy. So first of all, you know that the stored water in dam has potential energy because it is stored at a high some particular height from the ground level. So the stored water has potential energy on the account of its height above from the ground level. So as the water falls through a certain height, the water falls from a certain height, that water has a potential energy. So it has so it is capable of doing work. That potential energy has the capability of doing work. The force exerted by water is used to drive the turbine. So that the turbine is coupled with the generator. Automatically generator also will works automatically. The power generation will be placed. So this is the process. So it means water power or potential energy of the water is converted into electrical energy, because this potential energy of water is used to run the or drive the turbine. So due to the rotation of the turbine or running of the turbine, so power will be generated. Now we'll see the working principle of this hydroelectric power plant. Water collected from the catchment areas. We know that catchment areas, it means where the water will be available. Those areas, catchment areas, where the rainfall occurs frequently. So water collected from the catchment area is stored in a reservoir behind the dam. So next one is the perennial supply. Perennial supply means continuous, without disturbing any. So the continuous supply of water is essential for a hydroelectric power plant. So for the continuous supplying of the water, the turbine will run. So automatically the connected shaft of generator, so that one also will run. So next to level of water in the reservoir, so that is simply called as the head water level or head raise level. We know this one. So the dam regulates the outgoing flow of water. So the dam, so the main functioning of the dam, it is regulates the outgoing flow of water. So it helps to increase the level of water carried by it. So it is called head to generate the required quantity of power. So next, however, excessive accumulation of water also causes instability to the dam. So excessive water is released from the some systems, just like this is the just to lay out of hydroelectrical electric power plants. You can see. So these are the catchment areas. Due to the from the catchment areas, the water is stored in the reservoir, which is behind the dam. So through this dam, water is flow through this pipe, through the gates. Okay. So uh, through these gates, just like water is passes to this pipe, that is the pressure tunnel. The gate helps to raise the pressure of the water. So this water is collected into surge tank, surge tank. So through this surge tank, from this surge tank, the water is passed to penstocks to inlet wall. So this high pressure water is passed to the turbine. So due to this pressure of water, so it means from high to from uh, high place to this, it means the potential energy of water is converted into uh, is energy is used to run the turbine. So this high pressure water runs the turbine. This turbine is connected to the uh, generator. Automatically, generator will run. So due to this generator, the electrical energy is converted from the mechanical energy to electrical energy. So this is the functioning of this is the process of generation of water power into electrical energy. So in this way, this is the trap tube collection of water. So this is the just like layout of water power plant. You know this one. Then working principle. You will see. In order to prevent the outflow or overflow of water, so there is a overflow. There is the some uh, problem to dam. Already discussed this one. So it causes accumulation of water, also causes instability of the dam. So to reduce this or to control this outflow of water, okay, in order to prevent the outflow of water over the or overflow of water during rainy seasons, there are some spillways are provided, which keeps the level of water in the dam uh, constant by letting out of excess water which are collected in the reservoir. So a gate is used. The gate here we'll see this gate. The gate is used to regulate the quantity of water flowing out of the dam. So regulation of water flowing the pipe. So the water from the reservoir is carried out by pressure tunnel to the surge tank. So this is the process, working process. Now we'll see the advantage of hydroelectric power plants. The main advantages: this type of power plants depends upon supply of water, which is a renewable source of energy. So there is no cost for the fuel. Here the driving fuel is the water. This one. So hence there is no fuel cost in case of the steam engine. Uh, or nuclear or diesel power plants. In the steam power plant or nuclear power plant, diesel power plant, we know that we require fuel, either it is coal or petrol or something or diesel. So here no need of any fuel. So water power is converted into electrical energy. So that is the main advantage of this power plant. Since water is directly received from the rain in the catchment areas, there is no problem associated with the transportation of fuel, as in the case of the thermal power plants. No, there is no need of any fuel. So, so there is no problem which is associated with the transportation of fuel. So it means there is no transportation problem of fuel. So next, no ash is produced because there is no burning problem. Just burning of the fuel is not required, so there is no ash problem. No ash is produced by the byproduct. Hence, there is no pollution problem. So due to this, there is no process. So there is no pollution problem, and problem associate with the disposal of ash also in thermal power plant. So it is very high, just like collecting of the ash, controlling of the ash, and transportation of the fuel, and the collecting of the fuel is very, handling of the fuel is very important things in thermal power plants. But in hydroelectric power plant, there is no that type of problems, because here driving fuel is the uh, driving potential of energy is just like water. Apart from power generation, so they also help in the irrigation, the collecting of water, and just like releasing of the water. So those are helpful for the irrigation of the irrigation process, and flood controlling also, fisheries also. So there are many other advantages of this power plant, hydroelectric power plant, apart from the generation of energy. So it is very helpful for irrigation and flood controlling, and fishery also. So these are the main advantages and the main uh, uses of the hydroelectric power plant. Okay. So since hydroelectric power plant operate at ambient temperature, at just atmospheric temperature, so they have no longer lives. They have longer lives as compared to the thermal power plants. So, you know this because in thermal power plant, uh, just components, they have to face some high temperature, because the combustion takes place in thermal power plants. But here there is no combustion, so this process works at ambient temperature. So no need to just facing of high temperature of the components of this power plant. So they have long life, they have longer lives as compared to thermal power plant, which operate at very high temperature. In case of thermal power plant, the components of the power plants, they have to face the high temperature, nearly 500 to 700 degrees Celsius. Okay. So here there is no that type of problem. So we'll see that longer lives of the component in this hydroelectric power plant system. Next, the hydroelectric plant can meet the rapid variations of the load. It can meet the rapid variations of the, so it can withstand the rapid variations of the load also. Now we'll see these are the main advantages of this power plant. Now we'll see disadvantages of this power plant. The first one is the initial cost. Installation of this power plant very high installation cost. So installation cost is very high for this hydropower plant, because uh, for the big constructions, very large construction will be required for this one. So those requires high cost, high amount. Next, erection and commission. Erection and commission. It means installation and the running of the process of hydroelectric power plant takes a long time. So that is another disadvantage. So installation takes long time, and just to performing the functioning also takes a long time. So next up, these plants usually located in the hill areas, because water catchment areas are available at those hill areas. So hill areas are very far away from the urban places. It means so place of demand of power. So hence they require the long transmission lines to deliver the power. So from hill areas to urban areas, so the power transmission uh, facilities should be required. So they required the long transmission lines to deliver power to load centers. So cost of transmission and transmission losses are also very high here. So these are the main disadvantages. One is the initialization cost is very high, and next to erection and commissioning of the hydroelectrical electric power plants. So it takes a long time. Next to this these plants are suggestible to located at a high hilly areas because catchment of water uh, is sufficient in those areas. So there is a huge gap. It means so distance from the uh, demanded place to hill areas. So power transmission, long transmission lines should be needed. So transmission cost will be increased and transmission losses also will be increased. Next one is the satisfactory operation of the plant requires sufficient availability of water because this running of continuity of this power plants is depend upon the availability of the water, which in turn depends on the rainfall. So due to rainfall, water will be collected. The based upon the availability of water, this power plant will works. So if the rainfall is deficit, the plant cannot work to fully capacity. So this is another disadvantage of this electrical power plant, hydroelectric power plant. So for the continuity, in this case, we will use some diesel power plants. Just so there are about 28 hydroelectric power plants in India in different areas. You know that these capacities varies from the 25 megawatts to 1500 megawatts. So these are the uh, just layouts of hydroelectric power plants. Now we'll see diesel power plants. What is the advantage of the diesel power plants? Importance of the diesel power plants and capacities of the diesel power plants also we'll see. So diesel engine power plants is suitable for the small and medium outputs, not for the big outputs compared to hydropower plants. So for the hydropower plants, the range is 25 to 1500 mega watts, but this is the range of this diesel power plant is 2 to 50 megawatts. Okay. A generating station in which diesel engine is used as the prime mover for the generation of electrical energy. So that is called a diesel power station. You know this one. Diesel power plant produce power in the range of 2 to 50 megawatts. They are used as a standby sets for continuity of supply, such as just like in hospitals and telephone exchanges and radio stations and the cinema theaters for industries, particular industries. So for the continuity of these working processes, the working of these hospitals and telephone exchanges and radio stations and some cinema theaters. So in this case, we will use this diesel power plants in some stores also, but big malls also for running up malls. Just like we will use this subsets or standby sets. So these power plants they are suitable for mobile power generation, not big power generation. It is just like a mobile power generation and widely used in the railways and submarines and ships also. So here the use of these power plants are very high. You can see. Next, so what are the applications of diesel power plants? We'll see. These are the main applications of the diesel power plants. They are used as the central station for the small and medium power supplies. Okay. So central station. They can be used as the plants, standby plants to the hydroelectric power plants. But in uh, just if the rainfall is lacking, just in this case, it means because the hydroelectric power plants is depend on the sufficiency of the water. There is a lacking of water. So in those conditions, just like we'll use this type of diesel power plant as a standby plants for continuity of the power supply. And steam power plants also. In the case of steam power plants and for the emergency services, there is a lacking of the fuel. So in this case, just like for functioning of for producing of the power plants, we use the uh, diesel power plant as a standby plants. So next, they can be used as the peak load plants in combination with the thermal and hydro power plants. In case of thermal power plants and hydro power plants, just like for the continuity of power supply, we'll use these diesel engines or diesel power plants as a standby plants. Next, they're quite suitable for mobile power generation, small power generations, and widely used in the transportation systems, such as automobiles will use, the railway systems also will use, and airplanes also will use, shipping also, marine uh, shipping also will use. So in this condition, we'll use the diesel power plants. So this one. Now we'll see. So this is the just like one of the diesel power plants for the generation of heat from the diesel, generation of electrical energy from the diesel. You see. So this is the just general layout of diesel power plant. So here just like fuel supplying system and fuel oil pumping and pumping to the fuel injector of diesel engine. This is the compressor for the filtration and the compressing of the air for the just like burning of fuel. This one is the lubricating system. This lubricating oil tanks for the smooth running of the engines, diesel engines. So this one. So in this way, uh, the chemical energy of the fuel is converted into electrical energy. So through diesel engines. This one is the cooling system, condensing of the fuel also. So we'll see. This is the general layout of diesel power plant. Next, we'll see some essential elements of the diesel power plants. What are the important elements of the diesel power plants? One is the engine system, starting system, and lubrication systems. We saw this here. This is for the lubricating system. Next to starting system, next to fuel system and cooling system and exhaust systems. These are the main important systems. We will see one by one. The first one is the engine system. So this is the main component of the plant which develops the required power. The engine is generally directly coupled to the generator. This one. Diesel engine is directly coupled to the generator. Okay. Generally, so this is classified as either two-stroke engine or four-stroke engines. This types of engines. So next one is the starting system. Starting system. So the function of this system is to start the engine from cold by supplying the compressed air at 17 bar supplied from the air tank. and the fuel is admitted to remaining cylinders and ignited in the normal way, so that causing the engine to start. This one, this process. So here, compressed air compressing system is very important. So air compressing, next to, so igniting of fuel for the starting of the engine, very important. Next one is the lubricating system. Lubricating is for the smooth functioning of engines, and next it includes the oil pumps, oil tanks also, filters, so next to coolers and the connecting pipes. The main purpose of the lubricating system is to reduce the wear of engine moving parts, just like piston and the cylinder surfaces. These are the, to reduce the wear, right? We will supply the lubricating system, just for the to increase the efficiency of the diesel engine, and efficiency of the life of diesel engine parts. Next, parts of the cylinders, mainly piston, shaft, valves, must be lubricated. Otherwise, due to wearing, the lifetime will be reduced. So next, lubrication also helps to cool the engine. So cooling of the engine. Otherwise, the high temperature of uh, due to the high temperature, the life of the parts will be decreased. Next, fuel system will say. The fuel system, that includes the storage tank, next fuel pump, fuel transfer pump, and strainer also, heater also. Okay. So pump draws diesel from storage tank to day tank through the filter. Next, diesel is filtered before being injected into the engine by fuel injection pump. So this is the fuel supply. So this is very important. So after filtration, the fuel is be injected into the engine. Next one is the cooling system. It is also very important. The temperature of the hot gases inside the cylinder, there may be high temperature, that is nearly 275 degrees Celsius. If there is no external cooling, the cylinder walls and piston will tend to assume the average temperature of the gases. Just like they will be affected to the high temperature, automatically that mm, the hardness of the temperature, those parts will be decreased, and the wear will be increased. Automatically, the parts uh, will be spoiled, or the lifetime of those parts will be decreased. So cooling system is very important. So cooling is necessary to avoid deterioration of or burning of the lubricating oil. Next, to strength of material will be decreased for the various engine parts because of the due to the high temperature. Due to the high temperature, increasing um, temperature means that hardness will be decreased. Automatically, wear rate will be increased. Next, local thermal stress can be developed due to uneven expansion of various parts. So, due to the high temperature, the parts will be expanded. The surface of the parts will be expanded. So, this uneven expansion, due to this uneven expansion, thermal stresses, local thermal stresses will be developed. So, due to high cylindrical head temperature, the efficiency and the power output of the engine also will be reduced. So, cooling system is very necessary for this one. So, controlling of the fuel system, cooling system is very important. This one. So last one is the exhaust system. Okay, so this includes the silencers and the connecting ducts, because the exhaust gases, these exhaust gases coming out of the engine is very noisy. So for reducing of the noise, we'll use the silencers, mufflers. So muffler is provided to reduce the noise. So we'll see here the system. So these are the main important system in the diesel engines. Now we'll see the some advantages and disadvantages of the diesel power plants. So we know that diesel power plants are very simple design and layout of the plant also. Layout also very simple and designing of this plant also very simple. And it occupies less space and is very compact, very less space and very compact. And it can be started quickly and pick up load in short time. It doesn't take very starting. There is no starting problem. So it can be started very quickly, and requires less water for the cooling here also because very compact and less space. So next, thermal efficiency. Thermal efficiency is very better than steam power plant of same size. Here also no ash handling problem because the fuel, uh, the diesel chemical energy of the diesel converted into uh, electrical energy. There is no ash problem. So there is some smoke problem. You can uh, control that one also. Next, less operating and supervising work is required. No need of high maintenance and less operating and supervising work is required. So we'll see the disadvantage of this power plant. It has high running charges due to costly price of the diesel. You know that fuel diesel cost of the diesel is very high. We required high fuel costs. Next, generate small amount of power, so it cannot generate high level powers. Just it provides only 2 to 50 megawatts power only. Next, cost of lubrication is very high. The lubrication system is very important for the smooth running of components like piston and cylinder. So the cost of this lubrication is very high. Next, maintenance charges are generally very high. Maintaining of this power plant is very high. Noise problems also there. Just to have to handle that one. Next, capacity is restricted. Cannot be very big size. Okay. So it is the mobile power plants. We know that one. So we'll see these are the just like layouts of hydro power plants and diesel power plants. So thank you for watching this class. In next class we'll see the some more power plants, details regarding the some more power plants. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.